everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Samp and Chance. I am your host, Bobby Sampson, and joined with me, as always, is my man with the master plan, Mr. Chance Michaels. Chance, how are you, brother?
I'm doing pretty damn well. How about you?
Hey, not bad, man. It's been a while since we've talked about the beautiful, sweet science boxing, and I think it's time that we got back on the saddle here on that as well. Vacation is officially over. Um, I guess we kind of stopped off at Garcia and Fortuna, and then after that, it's kind of been a little quiet, so kind of worked in our favor a little bit here. But
Yeah,
things are going to start heating up again. We got Teofimo coming back after 9 months. His first fight since losing to George Kambosos Jr.
coming up to
Um,
140, coming up in weight.
yeah, he's coming up to 140. That 140 division is looking monster, man.
It's
You
loaded.
got Tank, and now you got Theo in there, and you got Garcia in there. I don't think Shakira and Devin Haney are too far behind either. I mean, these guys aren't
No,
really, 5'8", 5'9", kind of a deal. These guys are standing at most of them. Devontae's kind of small. I'm not sure how tall Rolly is, but I think all these guys will end up getting to each other at some point. They
I
all
think
have
so.
to.
Yeah, this is a catapult fight for Teofimo. We'll get him back in the mix, the championship mix, fighting
Yeah,
Martini. And this is the tune-up fight.
yeah, yeah.
At the beautiful, we should mention, Resorts World in Las Vegas. Brand new hotel and casino. It looks like a beautiful place. We should have stopped in there when we went there, but that's where they're fighting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, definitely. I didn't even notice that was there at the time. To be honest, I was so focused on everything else around
Yeah,
me. I didn't even notice the new facility. But yeah, I know it's going to be a good fight. I think this is a statement fight for Teofimo, and as we discussed earlier in our show and earlier episodes, we had the privilege of meeting him. You met him on the casino floor, and I actually got to meet him and have a nice conversation with him for about 5 to 10 minutes, man.
yeah, you're
Very,
lucky.
very gracious with his time, very, very generous, and
I'll
at
be
that.
honest, I wasn't a big fan of the guy, of him and his dad, but after meeting the guy, and he's super humble. I didn't get to talk to him besides a handshake. How do you do? But everybody that was on the floor, because I wasn't with you at the time, he shook everybody's hand, took pictures with everybody. He wasn't annoyed. He wasn't bothered. He did it and looked to see me somewhat enjoy it. So respect to that.
No, 100%. Do you think that because a lot of people are fans of his dad, that whole Vegas thing that he was out there doing and whatnot was more just to kind of rebuild his kind
I think
of
so. Yeah,
um the kind of impression that he has on people, or the impression people have of him, sort of a deal. Um,
I
you
totally
know,
agree. Yeah, he's
you
definitely
know.
trying to rebuild his image, and it worked. He was doing a good job. He's a
Yeah,
nice guy.
but here's the thing. I don't know what I mean outside of his dad, and I can't say nothing negative about his dad because his dad is being his dad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is he a little exuberant? Is he too much of a hype man? Does he talk too much? Maybe, perhaps. I mean, who am I
Yep.
to say anything, right? I mean, at the end of the day, he's the father, and it's kind of like that LeVar Ball, I guess, the ball of dad, right?
Yeah. That guy's hilarious.
Between him and Teofimo's dad, those are the kind of dads that kind of almost kind of hinder their child's progress in a way.
No, wouldn't that be a hell of a podcast if Teofimo's dad and LeVar Ball hooked up? They could get some numbers.
They probably would get some numbers, but they probably get a lot of annoyed people too, man.
They start arguing with each other real quick.
Right? They would definitely. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting fight. I mean, all signs say, like you say, you're the odds man. So what are the
Yeah,
odds
so what
saying?
we got going on here is Pedro Campa is a 12-1 underdog. So you put $100 on him, you win 1,200.
Oh
To have
wow.
Teofimo, if you just pick him to win the fight, you will have to put down $250 to win a dollar. It's
Now
not going to happen.
now that I know is
Too
outrageous
much juice, as they
because
call it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But there
But
are a
you
few good bets. So like they have round betting. So if you bet Teofimo to win between round 1 and 3, it's like plus 300. So $100, 300. I'm thinking of taking between round 4 to 6. It's about plus 250. So $100 paid to 250.
hmm hmm
But they're
um
giving Pedro Campa zero chance in this fight.
now you were telling me earlier that he's a bit of a journeyman, and he's kind of done majority of his fights. Because I mean, let's take a look at his record. The guy's 5'9". He's got 38 fights under his belt with a 34 1-1 record, with 23 of those being knockouts. You were telling me that he's done a lot of his fighting in the club scenes in Mexico and stuff. So
Yeah.
really not much of anything to really pick out of those
No.
38 fights, eh?
This is just a tune-up fight to get Teofimo back in the mix with Garcia and get him in the marquee again, right? Which
Yeah.
he'll destroy him.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't see how he can lose this fight.
Well, Teo comes in an inch shorter at 5'8". He's got a 68-inch reach.
And they're giving Teofimo 5'8". That's generous. I met the guy, and I would have put him at 5'6". But
Well, I'm 6'1", and he looked pretty small in front of me.
yeah, and I'm 5'9", 5'9.5", and I had at least 2-3 inches on him. So
Well, you never know, man. You never know. Total fights for him. He's 16-1 with that one loss coming in his last fight.
speaking of that, it's interesting. He never took the rematch clause that he had against Cambosa. He chose to opt out of that and move up in a weight class, which is
I think
surprising.
that was the plan anyways.
Okay.
My understanding was, and correct me if I'm wrong, my understanding was at the time that he was looking to move up anyways. I mean, they saw where the money fights were going to happen, right? I mean, at 135, Haney was the fight to make with him, but that never got done or it never happened.
Yeah.
Or it probably was the fight to happen if he didn't lose.
Yeah.
You
No.
know, that was the fight. Sorry, that was the fight that was supposed to happen if he didn't lose. I mean, Haney's always been that guy that's been waiting for the next guy to win.
Yeah.
So Kambosos kind of took that spot from him in terms of, so instead of just, you know what, let's just move up.
Yeah.
I understand that he had an esophagus injury that
That's
he
what they
was
were saying
dealing with.
before he fought Cambosa. I've been hearing that now.
Yeah, it's kind of coming out now, but I mean, if that was the case, I don't know. I
Would
mean,
affect him. I think what rubbed people the wrong way, aside what his dad said and did, is how he reacted. He kept saying, "I won, I won, I won." It wasn't a fair fight. You lost. Everybody knows that. So he
yeah.
kind of a bit of a poor loser that way. That rubbed people the wrong way.
Well, I think it just came out of nowhere because, to be fair, I mean, I think that's why he was trying to rebuild the image, after
Yeah,
that
he did a
fight
good job
because
of
of,
it. He was a
and he's
cool
been
guy.
doing a great job of it. I've been listening to him talk over the last couple of weeks, more so this week, in the build up to the fight week, and I mean, the guy's clean. Here's another example of an athlete who doesn't do drugs, who doesn't
Yeah,
smoke, who doesn't drink, dedicates himself to the sport. His only crime is his father's maybe, expressing himself too loudly, and he's taking the brunt of it, and him kind of tailing off of it, I guess, right? I mean,
yeah. I
it
noticed his
kind of,
father's being a lot quieter this time around.
yeah, it kind of sucks though. I think about athletes that are like that take the most heat. What are your thoughts on that, man? I mean, we all want to cheer the druggie, it seems like. Not at all, but it just kind of,
Sure, the bad guy.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's true. Somebody's got to pay the villain, right? And people just like to root for the bad guy. I guess everybody sees a little bit of villain in themselves, so they
I
live
mean,
vicariously through that villain. I guess I'm not sure how that goes,
I
but
mean, I think a name I'm trying to think of. I'm trying to think of someone in boxing, but the only name that keeps coming to my mind is from UFC is John Jones.
well, you got Floyd Mayweather. He's ultimate villain too. He's beat up his woman. He went to jail for it.
Okay. So you got Floyd, but I'm looking at. I think I'm looking at John Jones more so because of the drugs and everything as well, right?
Yeah,
Floyd didn't do
he's
drugs.
no.
Whatever Floyd did, he did it soberly, which
Yep.
almost is worse because you have a clear conscience of you when you're doing that stuff, right?
Yeah, no. Floyd's not a drug. He doesn't even drink alcohol.
Well,
He's
that's what
clean.
I'm saying. So it's almost like if someone commits those kind of crimes, would you rather know that they were high or drunk doing that and not of sound mind? I think that makes you worse of a criminal if you do these things of a sound mind,
That's true. That's true. Usually, not an influence of alcohol or drugs,
right?
but
Unless he's dealing with some mental health issues that nobody knows about.
that's possible too. Very possible.
Not
And
Floyd,
other news,
in
we
general.
got we got the ultimate good guy coming back, Tyson Fury, back out of retirement again. Now he's saying he's going to fight Derek Chisora for the third fight. Bob Arum came out and said that's not happening. He's just stirring the pot. He's going to fight Usyk, Joshua winner. So we'll see.
Yeah. You know what? If he was going to retire, he would have been stripped, and by now we would have had the fight for the vacant title that he holds
Yeah,
right now. Um, he has one thing left to do:
unify him.
unify, and then he'll retire.
I hope he fights Joshua or Usyk. Like he'll just beat the crap out of Chisora like he beat up Dillian White. He'll just knock him out. I mean, Chisora beat Pulev, but I mean, come on, he looks slow and sluggish. Yeah, he hits hard,
Hey,
but Tyson will dominate him.
dude, he hits low and sluggish and whatnot, but I mean, everything that I thought of Pulev going in, or sorry, everything I thought of Derek Chisora going into that fight against Pulev was everything against him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
he fought good.
I really didn't think he had a chance. But yes, that was a battle of two journeymen, two gatekeepers, right? And of
Yeah,
course, you're gonna have an amazing fight with two guys of probably the most comparable and pretty much the same skill set at that point in
Yeah,
terms
I
of
think so.
speed and everything, right? He does not stand a chance because he's been knocked out himself
Oh,
and
Fury's gonna
whatnot.
destroy him.
So Fury would destroy him. That just wouldn't be a fun fight at all. There's only one fight left for Tyson Fury, and that would be that.
Yeah,
You know,
it'll be huge.
yeah. I mean, I think it was just all talk always, right? I mean, I don't
Yeah,
think.
he's just keeping his name in the media, keeping us guys talking about him, staying
Yeah,
relevant. Smart play. I don't blame him.
and I think he's being serious about it because there's no word of him being at Clash of the Castle either. They're going with the Drew against Roman Reigns
Reigns.
fight. Yeah, that's going to be the headliner for that. Sorry to divert to wrestling a little bit, but it kind of ties into what we're talking about. But Tyson Fury, yeah, that alone lets me know that he was never going to retire and he's going to get geared up for this next fight. Um, let's talk about Joshua and Usyk a
Usyk.
little bit. It's coming up next week.
Yeah, I can't wait.
That's gonna be a
Can't
hell of
wait.
a fight, man. I'm thinking more and more, and I talked to some people down south as well when I was there about this fight, and I talked to a couple of Brits down there as well about this fight, and you know, I I don't think anyone should be surprised if Usyk wins.
He's a favorite going in, a small favorite. I mean, Joshua always seems to lose in the lights shine bright. Joshua seems to not show up. So hopefully he does this time.
Well, I
He
mean, he
says he has
showed
a
up.
new game plan.
Well, I mean, he's been training with Garcia, right? So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he's changed trainers. I think McCracken's still in there somewhere, but the lead trainer is now Garcia. And I think the one thing that he needs to do, in my opinion, is stop smiling when he gets hit.
Yeah, because you know it
Stop,
hurts when you do that.
right? You know it hurts when you do that, but I almost
Mm-hmm.
feel like he's almost too nice in the ring. He needs to get angry and he needs to kind of show that aggressiveness. I mean, say what anybody wants to say about Anthony Joshua, the guy's accomplished a hell of a lot
Oh yeah,
considering how short of a period of a time he's been in the sport,
yeah.
right? I mean, Olympic gold in 2012 and, two-time three-belt heavyweight champion of the world.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can't take anything away from the guy. I mean, he did, yes, he fought, the Klitschko's near the end of their time.
And Klitschko knocked him down in that fight. Josh
He
ended up
did.
winning, but put him
Yeah, he
down.
did. He did. Right. And I think the lights of Madison Square Garden got to him. Um, I think he just had the wrong game plan against Usyk.
Yeah, he's
He,
gonna have a
the,
different game plan. I think he's gonna. He could win this fight. It's not a slam dunk.
and it's not a slam dunk, but here's where I am thinking. I wanted to say that piece on Joshua first because there's always that chance that it could happen, and like there's. I'm not going to be surprised either way who wins because either guy can take this. Now, what I feel about Usyk going into this fight that makes him very dangerous now is that he spent time fighting a war,
Yes.
and that to me changes everything. Right? Like, not to be morbid or anything, and not that anyone's keeping count, but you cannot tell me that he's not fired his gun and had a body or two taken with it, right
Yeah,
or
I
wrong.
probably
Like,
did.
I don't know. Is he on the front lines? Is he somewhere? Like, is he shooting? If he is, then he's probably, unfortunately, someone's lost their life.
Yeah, that's very. I never thought of that, but yeah, you could be very right.
And when you are in that position, I mean, I God bless. I thank God I've never had to go to war. I've never been in that position. That's why I think we admire our soldiers and our
Veterans,
defense
yeah,
veterans so much is because of what they're willing to go out and do. Just thinking about it from a boxer's point of view in my own head gives me the shivers to think if I had to deal with those kind of issues coming home.
yeah,
So
scary.
you got a guy in Usyk who's living in the trenches and finally comes back to these top facilities to train, knowing that his comrades, his brothers in arms, are all still out there fighting this war that's getting scarier and scarier by the day as we go into the 6th month of this thing now.
Yeah, you're very right.
So it's kind of like Crow Cop, the guy from MMA.
Yep.
That guy was a secret agent guy, man. He was like special services, like special
Yeah,
elite
he's a
soldier.
scary dude.
That guy's got bodies on his name, right?
Oh, for sure.
So you got to think with that mentality going into this fight, what has he got to lose?
Yeah, I guess the other side of the coin could be, is he worn out? Is there a lot of trauma that he's had in the fight? He's not training as good as he was. I'm not saying he is, but that'd be the flip side of it.
Yeah. So, I'm really curious to see what kind of Usyk comes out against Joshua here, because I know Joshua's going to have to change up his game plan. He's got to be a bit more aggressive. He's got to be a lot more aggressive, in my
Hmm.
opinion. He's got
And
to
if
come out.
Joshua loses, you know he's going to fight. You know Wilder Joshua will happen for sure.
Well, that has to happen. I mean, that's going to have to happen eventually. Wilder's not retired either. I mean,
No.
I think right now everything in the heavyweight division for the big names, that is, right? Other fights will keep going on. The Frank Sanchez's of the world, the Victor, the Ortizes will keep going and whatnot. But in terms of the five, six top guys that are out there right now, everything is kind of hinging on what happens here tonight
Yeah.
or next
I
week.
can't wait for that
Yeah.
fight.
No, it's going to be great, man. It's going to be an afternoon fight as well, so that's perfect.
Only
Coming
nine
from
days away.
Yeah, man, coming from Saudi Arabia, so it's going to be fun. And Joshua seems more comfortable in Saudi Arabia, it seems. So,
Yeah, it seems to be comfortable. Like both guys look like they're having good training camps. They both seem ready for this fight, along the line. So
yeah, I heard that Usyk put on about 15 kilos of weight, which would be
yeah,
what,
he's trying to bulk up a little bit
almost
because
30
Joshua's a bigger
pounds,
man.
about 30 pounds,
Yeah,
roughly,
might slow
right?
him down a bit though.
It might, because he's small, right? I mean, small. Compared to Joshua, he's shorter, right? So, I
He's
mean, he's
small
small.
heavyweight. Yeah,
He's a small heavyweight. I mean, he's kind of, but Tyson wasn't big either, though, eh? Tyson was
no,
only
it can be
5'10".
done, but it's a lot harder. Wait till he gets into the Fury. Look out.
I just don't think either guy who wins in this is you're basically just getting the belt shined up for him, right?
Most likely, but you never know. But I'm with you on that.
Right. I think if it's Joshua, it's a foregone conclusion that Fury will beat him. But Usyk, if he beats Joshua again, it probably more of the
Usyk will give Fury a little more trouble. He's a little more of a box, a little more crafty with his footwork and his hands and combinations. But Fury's got that size and power, man.
but if he keeps working the body, I think he can break him down eventually.
Yeah, he could.
Right? I mean, that's his best weapon, just to work Tyson's body. I mean, we're talking
Yeah.
Usyk's Fury, but I mean, I don't know. I have no idea. But hey, let's
I got something interesting for everybody watching, everybody listening. We got a new
yeah.
segment here on Samp&Chance. It's called This Day in Boxing History. And
Mm,
this is actually the perfect one because it ties into wrestling and boxing, both things we do. So
okay.
on this day, 29 years ago, in Gunma, Japan, the great Leon Spinks had a wrestling slash boxing match against Terry Funk. Terry Funk won the match in disqualification because Leon Spinks punched him in the nose and his nose bled. There's no video of it. There's a couple pictures of it. That was one of the first. There's a few before that, like Ali versus Aoki, but one of the first few crossover fights. I know it was a work, but Terry Funk, I was reading it today, said he took some real stiff shots from Leon Spinks. Another sad note about Leon Spinks, his son Calvin in 1990 got killed driving home with his girlfriend. He was an up and coming boxer, although we all know who Corey Spinks is, his kid. But Calvin was supposed to be better, but he got killed coming back with his girlfriend in St. Louis. So thought I'd share a little history with everybody. I don't think a lot of people know about the Spinks versus Funk match. You can't find it, just picture it. There's no video of it. This is 93 in Japan, but in Gunma, Japan, Leon Spinks and the crazy Terry Funk had a slash wrestling, boxing, whatever you want to call it, hybrid. So I
Wow.
thought I'd share that people. Most people don't know that. So
Yeah,
that's a new
no.
segment on every boxing show. We're gonna have this day in boxing history, and that happened 29 years ago today.
That's awesome, man. Thank you for sharing that. I did not know about that fight, actually, to be honest. Obviously we all know about Ali and Naoki.
Yeah.
Um, d- Leon Spinks, eh? How
Yeah,
old was
Leon
he
Spinks
then?
was Terry Funk's in Gunma, Japan.
Jesus. I want to
Yeah, there's
find
a
that
couple
now.
images you can Google it. The image
Yeah.
of of Funk getting punched, his nose bleeding a bit. They asked Funk after, "How did you lose the match?" I don't know. He punched me in the nose. Like I won by disqualification. It was a work, but there are some stiff shots in there.
No,
So
I'm trying
Spinks
to
had on the
understand.
boxing gloves, and Funk had on just his bare hands.
Yeah, no, I can picture it in my head, but I don't understand why a disqualification would come from a punch in the nose.
Who knows what kind of weird rules they had back in those days, crossover. But
Well, that was
and
kind of
Leon
this.
Spinks just passed away last year, so rest in peace
Yeah,
to him.
yeah.
His son Corey was a great boxer. He's a unified champ in 03 or 04, something like that. So,
It
but yeah, he
was
lost his son driving home. His son was like maybe 20 years old, just coming back. His girlfriend got shot in St. Louis.
that's
Sad.
unfortunate, man.
Yeah.
That's really unfortunate. Leon Spinks, man. I feel for him a little bit because he was an amazing fighter. He was feared. His power was something else, man. I mean, that guy could hit.
Oh
But
yeah.
unfortunately, again, a time where Muhammad Ali was king,
Hmm.
when there could have been 3 or 4 kings that ruled that division, but Ali was
He
there
he beat
first.
Muhammad Ali, but Ali was old when he beat him.
Yeah, he beat
He
him
was
when he
already
was old.
finished.
Yeah, but no, man,
But
that's
yeah, so
crazy.
yeah, that's
I'm
gonna be a
trying to
new
picture that
segment. We're
right
gonna
now.
share every boxing show this day in
That's
boxing
awesome.
history.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
you go, man. So we got Chance's top 5 and this day in boxing history. That's
Yep.
pretty cool, man.
So every
Guys,
Thursday we'll be dropping it.
this is why you gotta like and subscribe so you can get these
There's no other
segments.
podcast talking about Terry Funk and Leon Spinks. There's no way.
No way in hell. No
No.
chance.
So
No
I
chance
thought
in
I'd
hell.
add a little sizzle to the steak because I've been, I like to learn about history and stuff and sports. I'm
Yeah,
like, you know what? Why not bring this on the podcast? This kind of
for
stuff,
sure,
right?
brother,
So,
man. And that's awesome, and I think that's gonna be a
and I got a
great.
great story next Thursday about Sonny Liston, but I'll save that for the listeners. Pretty intense.
Fair enough, man. We can't
Mm-hmm.
wait. We cannot wait. But hey, let's talk about the fight that didn't happen. So one
Oh,
brother,
Jake Paul and
yeah,
Usman.
one brother does an amazing job at WrestleMania, while
Amazing.
the other brother just completely drops the ball, in my
It's
opinion.
funny. I was reading up on that today, and then some articles was sitting there saying that Rahman didn't make Hasim didn't make the weight because remember he had that conference. Came in at 206.
Yeah,
Point
that was on
five, which is a little
August.
bit
On
over, but then
August, it's on YouTube.
mm-hmm.
Fight Hub. It's if you look up Fight Hub, you can see the footage right there.
Yeah, I see it today.
They weighed it. Everything was legit. They
But he
put
was
the
over though.
but it doesn't matter. You see, what they were saying is that by this certain okay. So say you and I we're gonna have a fight, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, I weigh a bit more than you do just because of my height and whatnot. But say we were gonna fight at 190,
Mm-hmm.
okay? But I'm sitting at 220 right now. But say we're fighting in 3 weeks. So in 2 weeks' time, so next week I'd have to weigh this much
Yeah,
just to show them the weight's coming down, right? And then I'd have to weigh this much in the week before the fight. And during fight week, I need to be 190.
yeah.
Now, what they are saying is on August the 5th,
The day
now
before
what
the fight.
day before
Yeah,
the fight, he weighed 206.
yeah. 0.5. Yeah,
Okay. That's okay. That's okay. He could come down. He made the weight. He made all the things. Here's what happened with this fight, in my opinion. Now, I'm only going on by the articles that I've read, some of the people that I've spoken to within boxing, in contacts and whatnot, and the conversation all kind of comes back to this point. He couldn't get the fight with Fury done, Tommy. They
yeah,
needed to find someone quick. They sparred with Rockman in the past, right? He made him spar with one hand tied behind his back. He could only use one hand, sort of a deal. So, all that happened. So they called him up and they said, "Hey, listen, how you doing? What's going on? Blah blah blah." Then they called him back an hour later and offered him the fight.
yeah,
Right now, what they did though is because they needed a fight to keep the card going, they put up so many restrictions within the contract that he had to abide by
yeah.
that
I
would
was
be
strict.
almost impossible to accomplish, right? Any boxer looking at that would be like, fuck this. Are you kidding me? Like
But Hasim needs the money though, right?
I don't think it's about money. He saw the opportunity to get his name out there. I don't think
Well,
money
that
was the
too.
issue. I think it was
You
more
know,
to
another
get.
theory that they're saying is the ticket sales weren't very good. It's another reason Paul pulled the plug. They only had like 5 to 7,000 tickets sold.
No,
In
and
whole
that could
18.
and
That could
that
be
could
possible.
and that could be a possibility as well, right? But the problem here was is that Jake Paul didn't want to fight this guy. His camp didn't want them to fight him because they knew this is a fight he could possibly and probably would lose,
Yeah. It's
right?
weird how that
This
all went down, man. We'll never know the real truth, but
well,
it
I
doesn't
think
look
that
good
is
on
the
Paul.
truth. It doesn't look good on him at all, right? Because now you everyone's saying, okay, legitimize yourself. I'm saying it. Like I want to believe. I thank you, Jake Paul, for what you're trying to do for boxing and getting the name out there and promoting it and bringing in new viewership and new eyes to it.
Yeah.
But I thank you for that. But I still say because you and we come from the old school of boxing. We love the sweet science. I want to see you fight a boxer.
Yeah.
I
No,
don't
I
care
agree.
that you fought Tyrone Woodley twice. I don't care that you fought Ben Askren. I don't care that you fought the basketball guy,
Nate Robinson, yeah.
Nate Robinson, right? None of that matters. Ben Askren had no striking, right?
Yeah.
Nate's amazing at throwing uh, uh, 3-pointers, but he
Hmm.
can't throw a punch,
No.
right? And then everyone says to me, "Oh, well, Tyrone Woodley, Tyrone Woodley. Yeah, he's a dirty boxer. He's an MMA boxer. He can strike, sure, but boxing is different from dirty boxing and MMA boxing and striking.
Yeah.
There's no comparison.
Maybe Paul's
None.
just going to be a celebrity fighter. Like he's going to fight that other guy coming up. So
Well,
he just wants to be a
he's
celebrity,
gonna fight
which is
that
fine too.
KSI guy,
Yeah.
right? That fight's supposed to happen, and he's already beat Logan twice. KSI, right? And KSI and Logan are pretty good friends now. They do podcasts together. They have
Yeah.
segments together, right? So Logan fighting KSI
No, you
is
mean Jake.
sorry, Jake fighting KSI. To me, in my opinion, you basically are going to destroy 2 years, 3 years of building your name backwards.
His camp should be telling him, look, Jake, you're going to fight this guy or that guy, have a legitimate fight, legitimize yourself. If not, just tell everybody, hey, you're going to be a celebrity boxer, and that'd be fine too.
Well, the thing is, like, he still has his contract with Showtime. This fight with KSI is going to be into Zone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, even Showtime doesn't want to touch it.
Yeah, I think
But the numbers are going to be there. No, the numbers are going to be there. That's the unfortunate part of it, man. Like that YouTube, and we love YouTube. Don't get me wrong, but that YouTube boxing crowd
Yep.
that likes this style of boxing, and I guess uh, I shouldn't really complain about it or bitch about it because I like what I like, and who am I to tell anybody what they're supposed to like and what sports they're supposed to like, right?
Yeah.
But being a boxing guy, it's kind of hard to swallow. It's kind of hard to watch. It's kind of like bastardizing the sport that I love,
Yeah. No, I hear what you're saying. It's
right?
a fair point.
Yeah. But Jake doing this and pulling out of that fight just shows me that he cannot handle fighting a real fighter. He wouldn't
He's gonna have to
have
fight a real fighter here sooner. He's not going to lose that title as just being a celebrity fighter, right? So he's got to do something here.
He's got to do something, and in the process, he fucked up Amanda Serrano.
Yeah, that too.
Right? He
I think
fucked her
ticket
up.
sales played a part. If Paul wanted that fight to happen,
And if ticket sales played a part in this, that just goes to show that fight with Katie Taylor that sold out. That just shows how great of a promoter that Eddie Hearns is.
Yeah.
Same girl.
Not according to De La Hoya, he's not, but he is a good promoter though.
De La Hoya is going to have beef with everybody, man. He did until he's kind of. Oh, speaking of De La Hoya, apparently he's going to be at Teofimo's fight.
I could see that. Yeah, he I think he lives in Vegas, so I could see him coming down there.
Yeah. Well, they're talking about it because I think if Teo wins this one,
don't call up Garcia.
I think you're going to see Garcia Teofimo next before you would see Tank. Fight. I think that's the right fight to make. Hey, who was the guy? Oh, come on, help me out here. You're the Pacquiao man, right? Okay.
I think so.
Yeah. Of course you are. You're Mr. Pacquiao with Ichiro and Maddox in the background. Who was the guy that he fought? The commentator, that color analyst. He lost to him, or
Tim Bradley?
No, Bradley. Sorry, he didn't lose to him. Sorry, he beat him. Pacquiao beat him.
No, Pacquiao lost to Bradley the first fight though by decision. Bad decision.
No, fair enough. We'll talk about that on another show.
Which guy are you talking about?
I can't remember his name. He does color commentating. He just recently came back and had a fight. And he still feels he's a contender.
And Pacquiao beat him?
Pacquiao beat him. You were there, I think. You went to that fight.
Oh, Adrian the problem, bro. Adrian
Broner. Not Broner.
No?
No, not Broner. It's killing me. It's been bothering me, and I refuse to look on the internet because I'm trying to remember.
Back to fight?
He came back to fight. He fought last year. Remember? He fought last year or early this year, late 2021, or early January or February. His first fight after losing to Pacquiao.
Oh, Keith one-time Thurman. Yeah, I was there.
Keith Thurman. Thank you. Here's what I was thinking. Like Garcia wants to fight Tank and fight the big name, this and that. I think this is where Thurman would be perfect for a Garcia right now.
Yeah, they can meet. Yeah, go at 147. Yeah, they can do that.
Right. I think Garcia Thurman would make a safer fight for him. and to
Yeah,
build up his name, but the weight class, man, that's the problem.
yeah,
That's the
that'd be
problem.
cool.
Oh,
I'd love
speaking
to
of
see it.
147, I think we're getting really, really close to Spence Crawford here, man.
Hopefully, it's already August. They better say something soon.
Well, they're kind of talking already. Voices are emerging, and if I'm looking at my calendar, here we go, November. I heard that they're looking at November 12th or November 19th in Vegas for that fight.
Damn, that'd be sick. Hope so. Love to see it.
I think that's the one I'd want to go down to.
That'd be sweet.
That's a history making. I think that's going to be, maybe I'm putting too much on it, but I can't help but get excited about it. That's going to be like Hagler versus Hearns or Leonard versus Duran or Hagler versus Leonard. You know what I mean? Any of those four guys?
It's gonna be a big fight. Super
It's
big
going to be an
fight.
amazing fight, right? I mean, yeah. So we got that. But yeah, I don't know, man. That's it.
That's it. We covered it all. We laid a lot of ground down. Now we had another kick butt show.
I'm always happy with what we get to do here, man.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh, Connor Ben. The
Yeah,
sons are
against Eubank.
fighting, eh?
Yep.
The
Rematch,
dads.
father versus father, now son versus son. So it'll be
Is
fun.
that the first time, do you think? Has that ever happened before?
This is
Son
maybe it's
versus
happened, but I
son,
don't think on the marquee stage where two fathers fought, now two sons fight.
right?
It'll be
What do you
cool
think
to
of that?
see. Yeah.
How do you feel about that fight?
I don't know, man. It's coming up quick. Isn't it coming in October?
October 8th is the date that they've announced it for now, right? So
Yeah, I
October
can't
8th,
wait
we
for that. It'll
got
be
that.
free on the
That's going to
zone
be
too.
fun. Yeah, it's great. And it's an afternoon fight again. Yay.
Yeah.
Those
Can't wait for that
afternoon,
fight. Both
those
guys are
after,
exciting. I don't really care who wins. I just want to see a good fight. Like them both.
well, I think a lot, Chris Eubank is, junior, he is what he is, but I think all the momentum and I think what they want from British boxing is Conor Benn to be the next big British boxer to come over.
He definitely is going to be the favorite by a bit, but it should be fun.
Yeah. What are those guys
Ben's
weighing in
impressive.
at?
He's impressive. I like watching him.
What are those guys weighing in at? Do you know roughly? What's Amir
140,
Khan?
they're 147 to
They're
154.
147, right?
Yeah.
Man. So Conor Benn is that guy who's supposed to come over this side and kind of take on the Spences,
If he
and
wins a Eubank fight, he will be doing that.
I think he will.
He's a favorite.
Yeah, I think he will. I mean, not knowing too much about it right now, not really, it's just been announced recently. So, we got that coming up as well. And the ladies are fighting in September as well. That's going to be a real fun card in
Starting to heat
Wales.
up again.
Yeah, man, it's coming up strong here. Like these next few weeks are going to be insane for fights. And then we
I'm
get into
excited.
the
I can't
fall
wait.
schedule. Yeah, no, summer's going to end out with a bang. July was a little slow, maybe.
And don't forget, we got the biggest fight of them all. We got Canelo Triple G September 17th coming up. So
Absolutely. Like I said, this summer run's going to be insane. I cannot wait, right? I
it's
mean,
gonna be fun.
that would be the last fight of summer because I think September 21st is when fall hits, right? So
Yeah.
that would be
Can't
the
wait for
last
that.
fight. Yeah, no, your plan, he's going to go, or are you still thinking on it?
I'm 60-40 with going, but
Yeah. I
I got
am,
that Monday Night Raw trip, but 6 days later, that's the only thing.
yeah, fair play, man. And they're coming here to Vancouver, eh?
Yeah, the night I'll be leaving that morning.
The night they're in Vancouver?
Yeah, we're leaving that morning because we're gonna go for a couple days prior to Monday Night Raw.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll probably go to that show there
Yeah,
in
it'd be fun. I
Vancouver.
didn't know about it when I booked the flights months
You
ago I
know
was
what? They
coming. So
announced it after they announced the Raw show in Edmonton.
yeah.
Right? So I mean, it is what it is. You're gonna be you'll get the cool show, right?
Yeah, it'll be fun.
So that's kind of gonna be cool to see. What else is happening here in the world of boxing? I think we pretty much covered everything that's kind of happening. We just
We
have to
covered
go
the
in,
past, the present, and the
yeah,
future, man. We did it all.
100%, man. So I tell you what, man, maybe this weekend, if everything goes great and we have the opportunity, we can do a quick hit for the fans, give our thoughts
Yeah.
on the Teo fight and how he looked, and
My
you
prediction
know,
right now, between round 4 to 6, he puts him down.
yeah, 4 to
Yeah.
6. He puts him down.
Between rounds 4 and 6.
All right. He hasn't fought in 9 months. I think it's going to take him about. I don't care what anybody says. I think he's going to need about 3 rounds to find his groove. I think he's going to come out a lot more tactful
Yeah.
because his biggest mistake was coming in so hard in that first round, and that jarred him. So I think he's going to come out a bit more tactful. I think he's going to take about 3 rounds to get started. You know what? I think you're right. 4 to 6 rounds, at 4 to 7 rounds is probably the range.
Yeah, should be fun. Can't wait.
Right. Anything less than that, then I would say even though he wins, um, it shouldn't have been that hard for him.
He's got to impress.
Right? He's got to impress. He's got to let it down.
Yeah.
Chance Michaels, my man, thank you so much, brother.
Thank you. Good show.
Hope, yeah, definitely 100%. So everybody listen, we're getting into the weekend here. This is Thursday night here. So please enjoy your weekends. Be safe. The weather's going to be amazing across the board, I hope, for everyone. Um, love your families and sit back and enjoy the fights this weekend, man. My name is Bobby Sampson, and I'm always
And,
joined with the man, Chance Michaels.
and in the words of the great ACDC, those who download, like, and subscribe and share the podcast, we salute you.
Absolutely. And even though this is boxing, I'm going to have to say it anyways, in the words of Ed Whalen. In the meantime and in between time, that's it, everybody. Samp and Chance out.